The performer of this video would like to take this moment to say that they do not share the same opinions and values of the character, who is an absolute cunt. It's I, the hater, back once again for a rant on the latest Whoniversals special. The tea is getting cold. Oh, this might actually be the worst Whoniversal special yet. Even worse than the ones where I'm in it and they, defeat me and all. But at least I'm in it, so it's at least a little bit more positive. This episode, this episode has no redeeming qualities whatsoever. Apart from AI Ben replacing the original. AI Ben's always better than actual Ben. The tea is getting cold, which serves as the final video to feature Mr. Matt Moyer as a member of the Whoniversals channel. As the toy maker recently put it in a later video that's also pretty shit. I think that was a Nick Payne one. Yeah, those are pretty shit. The basic story is that Matt Moyer fucks off from the channel, and so fellow Universal Wokies, Will and Nick, go off to try and find him in Perivale, of all shitty places. Perivale! Anyway, so we begin this shitty special, if you can even call it a special, by seeing Matt just dawdling around Perivale, just doing feckle, and Will and Nick are travelling to Perivale on the central line of the London Overground. Well, at least it's not the suffragette line, am I right? I know it's a fucking overground line and this is an underground line. Don't tell me the fucking difference, you little shit! And yes, I know it's not being called the suffragette line till later this year. And yes, I know it doesn't go anywhere near Perivale. Shut up! Sorry. Production assistant over there. They're not woke, but they're fucking annoying. Anyway, so Will and Nick arrive in Perivale and are basically just gaying it up. I know Nick's not gay, but he's basically just helping Will gay it up because they're friends. And it's just annoying. We also have Thomas, and, Thomas doesn't even appear in this special. I don't know if I should say that's a good thing, because that means we have one less person on screen. I suppose I could say the same for Benny. But we still have him providing voice lines, which is more than I could say for Benny, because he did that shitty AI thing. Still better than him being in the actual special. But I don't know. Thomas is one of the least worst members of the channel, even though he's still woke. But I don't know. I don't know if I can say this is a good thing or a bad thing. I suppose on one hand, I'm happy he's not in the episode outside of some voice lines. But on the other hand, it proves how shit this is, that they couldn't even get him to be in the bloody special. So anyway, after that, Nick and Will just basically fuck around Perivale. That's literally the plot of this episode. It's not even Matt fucking around Perivale outside of those first couple shots earlier on. It's basically Nick and Will. They first go to the if we fight, animals will die, Animal Street for, just for that callback, and then they go to the park and just play around, and it's just shit. It's shit. The cinematography is not even that interesting, and the editing is not even that great. It's shit. It's shit. Eh. Eventually, after fucking about Paravel and getting to a bridge over a shitty canal or something, and canal shit, they eventually get that light bulb moment where they go to that shitty hill where they filmed that shitty story Survival, because Matt went there because he likes Sylvester McCoy, 7th Doctor. Priest Sylvester? Fuck Priest Sylvester. Fuck it. And so they just go up there and just find him at this thing, and then they just like chat about him, like deciding not to make videos for the channel because he's said everything he's had to say on it. Oh, did you run out of ideas to talk about stuff? Oh, did you lose interest? Well, you know what, Matt? I, for one, am happy that you are leaving the channel. That is right. I am actually happy about something. I am happy that this woke, gay, Scottish guy who makes shit content is leaving the shitty channel. Thank God, at fucking last, some justice and common sense. I just have to wait for the rest of them to do so. So yeah, Matt basically just explains why he wants to leave the channel, and then he just leaves the channel. After somehow conversing with the others, whether it's okay to. I mean, I don't quite get that. I mean, I don't know why he has to get permission from the others to go. And also, David's cameo is really, really poor. For what it was, Thomas's appearance was serviceable. Benny didn't bother to take part, but the AI still kind of fits with it. David just didn't care. Okay, neither did Benny, but at least he sent some sort of substitute. David just said piss off and pressed the unlike button. Okay, actually, on second thought, I take it all back. That's the best part of the video. But critically, David is just like 2 words. It's not very nice, and yeah, it's just kind of pointless. Like, why bother having him in this apart from to have all the members of the channel involved, if that's all you're going to do? And I suppose the same for the Benny AI stuff, but at least he sent something over. I don't know, I think both Benny and David were quite lazy with this video. At least with Thomas, even though he's not actually appearing on screen, he's at least recording new lines of dialogue and actually giving a shit about it, as opposed to either sending AI lines over and with his voice, or just sending over 2 words towards the end in a passive-aggressive manner. Not even passive, just aggressive. Bit like me!
Piss off.
And then Matt does the first of the 2 best things he does on the channel, and basically gives up his control, his custody, his position in the channel, and hands over the custody back to co-founder Nick, who is also shite, but that's a topic for another time. And the team take the control and stuff to take on and give to the next person or whatever. Nick and Will then basically fuck off and let him do his final thing, and Matt then goes back to his house to do a kind of final talk to the audience in his usual location before returning to Paravel for the regeneration scene. And I have to say, Matt's final bits with Nick and Will were pretty decent, but they kind of ruin it at the very end, with Nick kind of semi-repeating what he already said. Like, if this guy had an actual line to say, and then he kind of fumbled it, and then kind of sort of semi-repeated what Matt said, like, even though he probably had something else slightly different, and he just kind of fumbled it. Can this guy actually act? Jesus. But at least after all that, after all of this crap, we then get the final scene where Matt finally fucking regenerates and basically does the second of the 2 best things he's ever done for the channel, and fucking leaves! At last! Thank God. Unfortunately, when they do the regeneration, they have that shitty 13th Doctor music in the background. I mean, I wasn't exactly a fan of the 7th Doctor music. they've been playing elsewhere in the video, but A, it kind of makes sense, and B, it's 7th Doctor music, wherefore it's automatically better than 13th Doctor music, which is shit. And woke, but mostly shit. And mostly woke shit. And also because they got Nick Payne to film this scene. I know most of it was filmed by Jean-Luc Harry and Ollie Everett, and maybe a bit by Will Maddox himself and Matt Moyer, but this bit Nick got to film it, and he decided to film something similar to the 13th to 14th Doctor regeneration scene, which is pretty shit, and it looks pretty shit, especially with the visual effects by Benny. Oh, it did do something besides provide some AI for this video then. Looks like he did do something after all. Oh well, at least we'll have a brand new member on the channel to hate for absolutely no reason whatsoever, other than that they are a part of the Whoniversals, especially if they are super, super woke. So, who is the new member of the team?
I know this channel.
No! No, they didn't. So remember when I said that this regeneration is very 13th to 14th Doctor inspired, since at time of filming that would have been the most recent regeneration, even though the 14th to 15th Doctor by regeneration, which is shit and woke, but mostly shit, had happened by the time this video came out. Not only did they decide to replicate the regeneration visually and with the music, but they literally actually had Matt regenerate into a former Whoniversals member, just like when the 13th Doctor, Jodie Whittaker, regenerated into the 14th Doctor, played by David Tennant, who had played the 10th Doctor. I am not making this shit up. This may actually be the worst decision the Whoniversals have ever made outside casting a woke diversity hire for the channel. I'm looking at you, Tiana Rose. Anyway, so Ollie does that sort of a play on the what from the end of the regeneration scene I mentioned earlier. Oh well, it could have been worse. It could have been diversity hire Tiana Rose, who they've been talking about bringing back for a good long time, or science geek Owen Smith finally turned back up. But yeah, pretty shit. And I look forward to hating on Ollie Everett even more so than if it was a new member who wasn't a wokey or diversity hire. Well, once he actually gets a fucking video out. I mean, have you seen the channel content of 2024? It's been a rocky first quarter of the year for the Whoniversals. Thomas has only made one video, no sign of David, and where's new member Ollie? What's he doing? I thought he was supposed to be taking over. He hasn't done anything yet. What's happened? And of course, Whoniversals is pretty shite right now as well. I mean, have you seen the state of this place? Gad. I only hope that the Whoniversals, if they don't get less woke, can at least improve on their video quality, or at least output. Nah, they won't do that. They're too woke and lefty for that. So overall, the Tea Is Getting Cold is a shit show of a special. It has shitty writing, shitty cinematography, shitty editing, shitty acting, and that's from the people who actually bother to do any of that. And it's an overall super well appropriate final video for Matt Moyer. And at fucking last, he has left the shitty channel that he created and co-founded. At fucking last! The only upside is that AI Benny is better than actual Benny, and the fact that Matt fucks off at the end. Other than that, there's nothing to enjoy in this special. I give the Tea Is Getting Cold a 0.5 out of 10. The 0.5 being for AI Benny and Matt fucking off at the end. Well, at least we can look forward to other Whoniversal members leaving this channel later down the line. I think the destruction of the channel is soon. And I, personally, am looking forward to it. I'll see you guys next time, my little anti-woke followers. The hater saying, fuck off! I'll see you next time. Hello there, Nick here to explain the joke. So first of all, apologies to everything the hater has just said in the past video. I share none of those opinions or values. That is basically a character I would portray who has the complete opposite output to what I do, what I have, and completely opposite values and opinions, and just outright bigotry, hatred, cruelty, meanness, and just downright prick, an absolute prick. So yeah, and basically wanting to hate people and be hateful of stuff and speak horrible stuff. And yeah, as I've gone on record before, I've made this character as basically to mock like people like that in real life, both on the internet and even in publics, but mostly on the internet. So as previously mentioned, this character was created to be a mock of those type of people and to basically serve as a very personal antagonist towards the Whoniversals and specifically the members on the channel. And yeah, as mentioned, I do not share any of those values or opinions or mindset that the hater shares. That character is designed to be an absolute cunt. As a performance-wise, I lean into that, but I make it kind of all up and make it kind of comedic to show that this is so ridiculous that you can't really take it too completely seriously, unlike people who are like this in real life. This was partially inspired by when Mr. TARDIS did something like this for a series 1 sort of a video on series 1 in the style of people ranting about series 11, but not for the right reasons, like just outright hatred, sexism, bigotry, etc., racism, and all the other shitty stuff. So that's sort of partially that, but I think actually the hater even predated that. I think I created him for my Saranga Conundrum review, the original one I did for the channel in 2018. So even back then I was ahead of the curve then with mocking these people. And yeah, the hater has basically become one of these characters who's just here to be a joke, but B, a character who's mocking people in real life. And unfortunately, those people don't seem to be going away. In fact, they seem to have doubled down recently, which means, sadly, the hater will remain a very relatable and current antagonistic character on the channel and a force to be hated by all, especially members of the channel in character, in verse. But as previously mentioned, his antics are so comedic and stupid and ridiculous that it shouldn't be taken too seriously. And hopefully you were able to tell that it was an act without me having to explain the quote-unquote joke. And if anyone was offended, I do apologise. This was all for the character, and none of it is my personal views. And I do apologise if I upset anyone when portraying those negative reviews as in character for the hater. As mentioned, that is the character's point of view, not my own. And for those who were able to take the joke and or enjoyed the video, thank you so much for watching. And Once again, I do apologise for some of the things said by the hater and, well, by myself in character as the hater, but I do not share those opinions or views. That's the character of the hater does. And with that said, thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Happy April Fool's Day. Goodbye.